Sorry for the lack of content, guys. For any of my friends or family or anyone who just subscribed and is willing to watch, but also we got the iSliceNetwork shirts now. I'm not really going to make any profit off it. If you want, you can pick them up. I'll put a link somewhere where you can pick them up. I really won't be making any money off of them. Just for raising awareness for my channel. If you guys want to support me, I'd appreciate it. Safe fighting practices. So right now I have COVID. It's not as bad as I thought it'd be, but nonetheless, I'm still quarantined, doing my civic duty to keep me out of fighting at the moment. And so, to sum up what's happened in the last month, I got a concussion, so I was out of fighting for 2 weeks because of that. Went back to fighting, and this is why I'm making this video about safe fighting practices. Got a cracked rib from an arming sword match. Just not even a bad match. It was really fun. Couldn't tell it was cracked at first. I had so much adrenaline going, sparks were flying. Camera didn't really do it justice, but I got a good thrust by a new guy. He's not a bad fighter by any means. In fact, I think he's better than I was doing that night. So he doesn't come from HEMA. He comes from Krav Maga, which is fine. They're all both admirable sports. I agree. But the difference is in Krav Maga and all these things, you're fighting with your fists. You're not fighting with steel beams. And I think what happened is we got so carried away. He ended up cracking my rib with a thrust. I ended up doing something that was weird to his left shoulder, right shoulder. You'll see it in the video. But essentially, right here, this is where he gets hit in the shoulder. And this part here is where I get a crack. You look at that pain. I mean, oh my God, just look at it. You can see my whole body flinch, recoil back, the whole deal. If you aren't careful, if you don't feel safe sparring with it or with that person, say, I want to stop. I don't want to fight you. I don't want to spar with you. This is supposed to be fun. We're supposed to better ourselves. Now, you're not there to prove a point. You're not in there to be the best around. You're not there to be the toughest, who can take the most damage. You're there to learn an art. At the end of the day, you're there to learn an art. But if you're not willing to learn that art safely and responsibly, or if others are putting you at risk while performing that art, they're not worth being around. This is a usually good group. I love this group. This is my main group, and these are my good people. Now, I don't think there's anything like bad blood. I don't know. I think there's this guy who's just new from Krav Maga. Tried something new. I love the guy. I thought he was one of my favorite guys to fight. I mean, I had the most fun, but here's what I'm learning, slowly but surely. Nova, thank you for teaching me this shit early. I should have listened to you. But essentially, the more you're out of the fight, the worse you're going to do. It takes time to readjust and rise back to the occasion. So, I've had this negative streak of like, hey, here's a concussion. Oof, 2 weeks out. Here's a cracked rib. Oof, another week out. I mean, I could keep going, but I don't want to push it. And then boom, COVID on the next week I was going to go. So, I mean, I'm kind of stuck with like a month without sparring now because of my situation. And so this is why I'm here talking about safe sparring practices. If you don't want to look like this bloody nose here, wear a helmet you're safe with, which is why I'm talking about this. Why I'm wearing this? You can't see much of it. This is a clap visor for armored combat. Now, if you don't feel safe in it, don't spar in it. Moral of the story. Now, how I got that bloody nose, long story short, exaggerated version. Buddy and I doing daggers, right? Goes in, tucks my head in. He pulls the head in for a knee, assuming my mask won't come off, assuming it was snug. Mask comes off and knees me in the nose. Now, this is a little dramatized for the sake of the argument, but the image is an eye-opening factor of what could happen. Now, me, I wasn't too fazed by it. I kept going. But for those of you that are new, that's a little discouraging. I mean, you're going to knee in the nose, you're going to break your fucking nose, you have to reset your own nose, and me, I couldn't afford the medical bill, so I had to go reset it myself. I did. I just fucking set my nose and we just kept on going in the day. So, I mean, it is what it is, bro. This is sport. And if you can't maintain staying in the sport safely, you're not going to be able to get better. And that's something I'm starting to learn. I've been in the recent past careless, and I'm sick and tired of being careless because it's putting me out of the sport and making me worse. So I've been sitting at home practicing doing these cuts with arming sword and saber to try and get myself back up to full strength, even with fucking COVID. And I'll tell you what, man, it sucks. If you have the choice between doing this or being here in your home doing jack shit, I'd highly recommend fighting and practicing your sport and what you love. Because at the end of the day, we're all HEMA fighters, we're all armored combat fighters, we're all SCA fighters, we're all some form of fighter that respects the medieval or sword or spear or any form of martial combat. At the end of the day, we want to do that because we love it. It's our passion. We love the history, we love being someone else for a day, and we love the relaxation of stick therapy or steel therapy. So at the end of the day, be safe, and I guess enjoy the rest of the day.
Holy crap!